GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered.
And that's MVS and Justin Watson.
With some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues. If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up. Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow, comma, semicolon, period, next sentence, to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man Jay Rich.
Is that yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up. We're Ray
and Jay
in the morning.
My God.
How good is
Dude,
he? How good is he? Let's get it. Let's get it. GMGP. It is Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. Just how to wake y'all asses up with myself. No Jay Rich. He is still on vacation enjoying a nice week at the lake. So it's just solo GQ. I appreciate each and every eye, each and every ear in the building. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on X, if you're listening after the fact on the podcast radio feed, from me to you, salute, shout out, thank you, much love, appreciate it. We got a good one. I see the people in the building. We got some first-time folks on the show. Johnny Lillycrap was popping with you, GMGP. It's a good show with Matt Harmon, right? Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, my coworker now over at Yahoo Fantasy, Matt Harmon, and I did a dope show. Check that out on Yahoo Fantasy's YouTube channel if you have not seen that content from the wide receiver kings, baby. Alan, good morning. How you doing? I see Jimbo and Zach over here betting on when the damn show was going to start. I pressed the button at 9:02. I need to get some coffee. Had to figure some things out, but we're here in the building. I appreciate everybody, man. This is we got a show today. Let's kill the Drake music. We got a show today. We aren't even 48 hours in the damn training camp, and there's just drama galore. That's all it is. I mean, the NFL is constant, continuous drama that I love, that you love, that we love. So let's make it a good show, talk through everything. And yes, I will be talking about my Dallas Cowboys probably first on this show, but we got to engage with the good people. We got to engage with the people. I had a couple of folks up already. Jay Rich is back. There he is. Jay Rich is in the building. Shout out to Jay Rich. He is back from the lake. Probably got a nice tan, got a nice little tan. Jay Rich, a little light skin, so he came back a few shades darker. There you go, Jay Rich. Alex in the building. How you doing, baby? That shirt, you like the shirt, baby? You like the primetime shirt? I know y'all are always asking what shirt I have on today. So this is a Dreamathon old Deion Sanders shirt. So for those of you who ask, appreciate the wardrobe. It's a little prime Sanders, man, Deion Sanders. But what else we got in the chat this morning? Kevin in the building. Chargers had the pads on yesterday and returned down here to San Diego. It was a glorious day. Yeah, we're at that point. Like, it's so crazy that, this stuff just speeds through. Before you know it, we'll be in week one. And all the training camp nonsense, all the rumors, all the noise, all the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, maybes. Like, we're going to be in the full swing of this thing. So all I'm going to tell everybody as we really, really kind of kick off this 2025 NFL season, 2025 college football season. Appreciate it. Enjoy it. I know people are going to be shitting on the Thursday night game next week on the 31st with the Chargers, but enjoy it because before you know it, it's here. We're in the thick of it, and it's over. So I'm really, really excited, man. We're going to talk to the Chargers and a player making a lot of noise on the Chargers. We're going to do a little would you rather with some Chargers players today, probably a running back, probably a wide receiver. But first things first, man, money. We got to talk money. We got to talk money because money kind of is running the show right now. And out in Dallas, there's some stuff going on. And instead of me telling you what it is, just turn your volume up and let's listen to one of the best players in the entire NFL talk about his team, this season, his contract, alongside one of the players who damn near won Defensive Player of the Year a few years ago, in Trayvon Diggs. Let's listen to Micah Parsons and start this conversation off. Let's listen to Micah. Here we go. Let's pull it up.
Stuff.
Micah Parsons, this is from an interview that at Day One of camp.
With him after yesterday's presser?
Nah, but I'm gonna talk to him. You know, I just thought as a whole, like, you know, everyone's situation is differently. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, I'm here for my teammates. You know, I'm not here to please another grown man. I'm here for them. You know, I want to be here with Trey, watch him rehab, watch him get on the field, watch his growth. I want to be here battling with Terrence Steele. Like, I'm here for these guys. I'm not here for him, you know. So I think, you know, at the end of the day, he's on the field with us. You know, we're on the field playing the games and things like that. So I'm going to just control my teammates, keep boosting it, and, you know, we're just going to keep playing together.
So this question was in relation to Jerry Jones' comments. And if you did not hear them, we don't have enough time to go through the full Jerry Jones presser. Long story short, Jerry Jones, hey, you know, we want Micah here, but even if he's here, you know, if he misses time, it's not going to a whole bunch of stuff he probably shouldn't have said. Just kind of sneak this in. You could tell there's some stuff going on, but Micah very openly, and Micah Parsons has a very big platform. He works with Bleacher Report. He does a podcast weekly, like a lot of athletes do right now. But Micah did not shy down from those comments from owner Jerry Jones saying, I'm not here to please that grown man. I'm here to play and please and show up for the guys that are on the field, that are putting in work. If they don't want, like he said in this interview, another part of this, if they don't want me, they don't want me. If they don't want me here, no big deal. I understand this is a business. Just like the Jones family, there was another comment from Micah who said, just like the Jones family have to do what's in the best interest of Jerry and Steven and the other Jerry Jones, like the entire Jones family, said, I got 5 kids or 3 kids. I got to do the same thing. I got 3 children. I've got to do what's in the best interest of me. What do y'all think about this? You know, you've got Diggs right next to him, and then he also tweeted out some stuff on a social media account after practice saying, you know, the team knew where I was at. There was nothing ambiguous about my recovery process. I've been in lockstep with the team doctors every step of the way throughout this process. What the hell is going on? You know, there were comments made with Diggs. They want him to step up, be more of a leader. It's not even 48 hours, not even 48 hours in the damn training camp. And we've already got to hear this out of Dallas. Let's get the ticker rolling, all the other news. Get the ticker up on the screen. I know that people like the ticker. What are your thoughts about this one right here? This, to me, it's not nothing. It's not nothing. You know, it is not nothing. I don't want to say it's everything because at the end of the day, we saw this happen with the Browns and Myles Garrett a few months ago. Remember all that? Myles is gone. No doubt. They're not negotiating with him. He's done. He wants to play for a contending team. He wants to play for a winning organization. And then he gets $100 million plus $1,000. And he's like, hey, I'm good. I'm good. Everything is fine. I love Cleveland. This is where I want to be. I think the same type of thing can happen here in Dallas. But just nasty. This is to be so open. And my first thought, y'all, and just I really, really wanted to ask y'all, this audience, you people on YouTube, the people that tap into the show, that watch football, that love sports, that follow this kind of stuff. Like, my brain goes to not necessarily what happens this season. Mike is going to play. I think they'll figure something out. But here's it. He's going to get paid by somebody, whether it's Dallas, whether it's Washington, Philadelphia, the Chiefs, the Raiders. Somebody is going to give Micah Parsons more money than any non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. There's no doubt about it. You're talking about a 25-year-old, 4-time All-Pro edge rusher. Yes, he's going to get paid. He will be the highest non-paid quarterback, skill position player, non-quarterback player in the history of the game, whether that's Dallas or anybody else. But my first thought goes to, man, this CBA that's about to take place, we've got 5 years, 2030 is a new collective bargaining agreement. This could get nasty. You've got second-round picks want guaranteed money, getting more money than any second-round pick ever, guaranteed up front. You've got these contract situations with these players wanting to be paid top dollar. You've got quarterbacks making money out the wazoo. You've got the NFL wanting to add an extra game, new TV revenue starting to come. That's why people are signing 3-year deals. They know this TV deal is coming up. I want a part of that revenue. I want my salary reflected with that bump and that increase in NFL revenue. 2030 might get nasty. 2030, the contract negotiated, the CBA might get nasty with these players, with the teams, with the NFLPA. It's all kinds of wild stuff going on with that story. If you have not read in detail everything that's going on with the NFLPA and the scandal they're uncovering, misappropriation of funds, we are in for a massive underhaul. And I know right now a lot of people are just focused on the immediate season in front of them, but that's not how we kind of operate. We're thinking, how does this impact shit down the line? It's not good for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, that have kind of built this team to win now. You've got a 30-plus-year-old quarterback at the helm. You put all these pieces together to be a competitive ball club in 2025, and right now, the stuff that's happening on the defensive side of the ball and just whatever's the other stuff that's happening within inside the NFC East, they're not even the second best team. They're not the best team in the division. They're not the second best team. You're talking about the third best team in the NFC East. Just disappointed. And that's what the headline reads for Micah Parsons. Micah said it's disappointing that we're at this stage of the process and we still don't have a deal. You know, it's disappointing. Yeah, Fredo said we haven't even seen the real NIL cats negotiate their net. You know, it's history. You don't really kind of know it while you're going through it. You don't know that it's going to be such a big moment in time for that sport, for that industry, for a country. You don't really recognize the gravity of what you're in until 3, 4, 5 years down the line. This era that we are in now in sports, y'all, we're going to look back on all of this. NBA, college football, NFL, MLB, swimming. It doesn't matter. Softball, baseball. We're going to look back in 5 years and be like, wow, this was a wild time. And we also were able to see a lot of transfer of power, which doesn't happen often, especially in sports where it's controlled by billionaires, the owners and the establishment. But we're in this era where players and athletes and they're for better or worse, you're hearing high school players. There was a high school kid, and if Stanley's in the chat, he might know. I know he's deep in the recruiting rabbit hole, right? There was a high school kid that chose not to go to the University of Texas, or it was Alabama. It was some premier school, and he said, I know I wasn't playing there. I know I wasn't going to be on the field and probably until I was a junior or a senior, and my brand is more important to me than waiting 2-3 years to get on the field at this institution to play. That was the direct quote from the high school kid. My brand is more important to me than going to that school and sitting on the bench for 2.5 years. Whether you agree or disagree, I can't knock the young man and his family for the hustle and the money, but it is a very different time that we play in. It's for anybody that's out there that watches football movies, right? Football movies, and people talk about the greatest sports movies of all time. We were talking in the Discord. Come join. Go to the website, join, patreon.com/allcast. Get in the Discord, get in the group. But we're talking about underrated football movies. And do y'all remember, just think of where we are with money. And do y'all remember Rob Tidwell? Rob Tidwell from Jerry Maguire. Do you remember how much he was fighting over for his contract? And I know that was in the 90s. This was big money back in the 90s. I think Rob Tidwell was fighting the Arizona Cardinals for a 4-year, $11 million deal. I think it was 4 years, $11 million, probably $4 million of that guaranteed. But that was a big deal, to get that position of player, to get that type of money. And I know it was a movie, but just the era that we're in. Hell, 4 years, $11 million ain't getting somebody out of bed now. Second rounders ain't even getting that, right? That's what they're getting. They're getting that type of money, not Rob Tidwell money. But this era that we're in now, with athlete awareness of their brand, with every athlete having a side, quote unquote, hustle, whether that be a YouTube channel, making content, fashion, music, artistry, whatever it is. This is just a very interesting and unique time. And I'm very much interested and locked into what the owners are going to do, what the PA, what this CBA is going to look like. And are we headed towards a spot where there could potentially be a strike down the line? I hope not. That was not a good time and not a good period of football, but you never know. It is just very, 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 very historic, in my opinion. The beginning parts of, we'll look back and be like, you remember when second-round picks never got fully guaranteed deals? Can you remember when, these players were only paid X, Y, and Z? We're living in that transfer of power and money in sports. That's the era that we're in right now. Got the bag and Regina King. Yeah, Jerry Maguire. Yep, Jerry Maguire, Regina King. That's who it was. That's a third-round rookie contract these days. Yeah, Garrison. And Rob Tidwell ain't fighting for that $11 million now. Not for that. Not right now. Jeremiah Smith getting more money than that these days. It's just we're in that now. We're living in it now. So let's just follow it. This situation in Dallas in particular, not very good. But the Cowboys aren't the only team that have star player drama. And this is one I've asked y'all multiple times. What do y'all think about this, chat? Do you think there's any real chance this thing carries on into the season? And we all universally, me, you, Jay Rich, Garrison, Jorge from Rhode Island, everybody in the chat has told me ain't no big deal, right? This dude's gonna be there. There's no doubt about it. But Terry McLaurin is not there. So the Washington Commanders have officially placed standout wide receiver Terry McLaurin on the reserve did not report list as his holdout begins. Okay. Noah Brown is hurt. He got hurt in the spring. We talked about this when that happened. Is not. So he got hurt in the spring. He's back. So whatever happened to him in the spring, got carted off with an injury. We don't even know what it was. He's back. Sam Cosmi, offensive lineman, he's on the PUP list. But the big dog is Terry McLaurin's not in the building. Terry McLaurin is not in the building for Jayden Daniels. Second season. Everybody excited about year 2 JD5. No Terry McLaurin. And McLaurin also was very vocal. Much like Micah Parsons insinuated, if they don't want me, trade me. If they don't want me in Washington, they want to slow down the progressive second-year superstar quarterback Jayden Daniels. They think they can do better all by themselves. They don't think they need me. You could roll out Jalen Lane and Michael Gallup and Noah Brown, Deebo Samuel, Zach Ertz. Be my guest. But if not, you need to pay me. You need to pay me. How much does it hurt McLaurin not being in camp? Probably some, right? Probably some. Luckily for him, it's an offense that he was in last year. Lucky for him, he's a, 6-year NFL vet. So he's done this before. He's been here. He's played the game. He's gone up against these defenders. He knows his division mates. Luckily for him, he's a pro. And if he misses a couple of weeks, do I think it really boosts him down? Not at all. Not at all. Terry McLaurin's not there first 2-3 weeks of camp. Would much rather him be in camp. Far less concerned about McLaurin's production on an NFL field missing time in camp than I am any rookie. Far less concerned about Terry McLaurin missing time in training camp than I am any other rookie, but we still want him there. I don't know what he wants. I've asked, I've looked around. There's nothing concrete reported about what he wants. Highest paid receiver in the NFL on an annual basis is Jamar Chase, $40 million a year. Nobody even close. I think CeeDee Lamb is next up for Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb right around 35, 34 million, 33 million a piece per season. We got DK Metcalf sitting at 5, and I think he's right around 31 million a year. Is that what Terry McLaurin wants at 30 years old? Coming off of a 1,100-yard season. He was a second-team All-Pro, 13 touchdowns, played incredibly well. I don't know how this is going to end, but I really, really want to ask this question. If he is not there, maybe it doesn't impact Terry McLaurin, but how much does it affect Jayden Daniels? Right? McLaurin probably could just, week 1, hell, I haven't played. I know the playbook put me out there. I can go route folks up and catch the ball. Probably a good chance Terry McLaurin himself can go do that. If he's not around, how does this impact the rest of the pass catchers for the Commanders? I think significant. He needs to be there for Jayden Daniels. Maybe not for Terry McLaurin. Maybe not for his ability to win, to separate, to do wide receiver stuff. But for the continuity of the offense and, more importantly, the growth of second-year quarterback JD5, you probably want Terry in the building, man. You know? You probably want Terry in the building. Schmidt says, feels like we are closer to a week of week 1 signing than anything. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Schmidt shot. We've seen examples of that too, right? We've seen examples of, star players pretty much not available all camp, and then you get to the season like, hey, we need to get this deal done right ahead of week 1. Deal gets done. Definitely lowers JD5's ADOT. That's from Garrison. Yeah, I want to go through the comments real quick. It's kind of tough when you're soloing it and you got so many damn comments in here. So thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, comment. I'm going to get to as many as I can as we go through this. Let me scroll up a little bit. Guarantees are the issue in talking about McLaurin. There's the third round rookie money. Terry going to be requesting that trade soon. Now, Alex, I don't know if it was confirmed, but I thought I saw not an official trade request, but him saying, if they don't want me here, trade me. And then that's when the rumors of New England having a blank checkbook and wanting him popped up. But we've got New England news that we have to get to ourselves anyway. Jimbo said, I still don't think he leaves. This is big time Debo season. I've been in on Debo this year at cost, period. Even I would like him. I like him even better with Terry McLaurin there. With Terry McLaurin there, I like him even better. But I like Debo a lot this year. He just wants what Debo got, a guaranteed deal. This usually ends well for the team's potential if he's not back soon. Yikes, yeah. Guarantees are the issue. Do the Commanders even have any big contracts on the books? I don't think so. Like big contracts for the Commanders. Tunsil? I guess they're paying Tunsil. They got to pick up that deal. I don't know if they've got any other mega stars that they're paying money to. I mean, the biggest position that they don't have to pay and avoid right now is the $250 million they're going to have to roll out to Jayden Daniels, if not more. So you need to make shit happen now while you don't have to pay $300 million for Daniels for sure. Let's see what else we got. Stanley said the offense ran through Terry. He wants more money, but he's not worth it. Okay. I'm just going to ask that question flat out. Is Terry McLaurin worth $30 million a year? Brandon Ayuk's getting $30 million. DK Metcalf's making $30 million a year. Garrett Wilson, CeeDee Lamb. Is McLaurin worthy and worth $30 million per season? Stanley says no. Stanley says he's not worth that. Maybe can I ask you this, Stanley? Maybe if I vibe with you, maybe not ISO on his own. Like the Bengals, the Cowboys, no one's gonna pay him $30 million a year to come be their wide receiver. But what's he worth to Washington for the simple fact that they've got Jayden Daniels? Like, what's he worth to that team in this specific situation? I think it's a little more than his worth on an open market going to the Cowboys, the Rams, the Cardinals. He's probably worth a hell of a lot more to Washington than he is to most other teams, unless those teams feel the same way that we're talking about Jayden Daniels and how we're invoking Terry McLaurin's growth with Jayden Daniels synonymously. I think it depends on the team. So like New England, maybe New England's like, hell yeah, he's worth it. To pair him up with Drake May and Stephon Diggs, he's absolutely worth it. But Stanley says not worth the money for Terry McLaurin. Let me go down a little bit and see. Schmitz out said a top 10 wide receiver on the planet is worth $30 million. Okay. All right. I don't disagree. 2 for 29 gets it done. For people saying he's 30, go look at what Calvin Ridley was paid at 30. Okay. Dom 10 says he is to the team as they couldn't replace his production before the season. That's what I think he's far more valuable to Washington than maybe any of the other 31 teams. Stanley says he's replaceable. Dobbs can do Terry's job. Dobbs from Green Bay said, put Romeo Dobbs in Washington. He can get the same stuff done. Said he's replaceable. If Ayuk getting it, then Terry McLaurin should as well. And Stanley says he is not top 10. Okay, well, let's play a game. Let's play a game of wide receiver. Would you rather? And then we gotta look at Xavier Worthy. It's not gonna be a wake up show unless we talk about X, man. Xavier Worthy right now. Terry McLaurin. Good Lord. Okay. We can't do too much would you rather here. There's a lot of would you rathers. Right now, I'm going to y'all's favorite website to find rankings and to tell people who to pick. Keep Trade Cut. KeepTradeCut.com has Terry McLaurin as wide receiver 31 right now. 31. Would anybody take Terry McLaurin over? I'm just going to give you the 3 receivers at the back of the top 10. Ladd McConkey, Nico Collins, Drake London. I don't think there's a soul in this chat that would take Terry McLaurin, fantasy football or NFL wise, inside of that cluster. Is Terry McLaurin better than Ladd McConkey? I'll just say wash. Is he better than Nico Collins? I would say no. Is he better than Drake London? I would say no. Let's move down the list. Is he better than Marv? Well, he's not going to get paid. I mean, Marv's a rookie. JSN. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver 13. A.J. Brown, wide receiver 14. T. Higgins, wide receiver 17. Smitty, wide receiver 19. J-Mo, 22. I'm just going DK, 25. Waddle, 27. Pickens, 28. Olave, 29. Moore, 30. McLaurin, 31. Where is he? D-Bro saying no. I mean, we're getting with the argument here. Terry had 4 more TDs than London and 7 more than CD. Come on. The McLaurin hive is coming out. He had 4 more TDs than Drake London, D-Bro. You'll take that London over him, D-Bro? 7 more than CD. Listen, StatX83, I appreciate you being in the building. Love the Luther Burden chain you got on right there in the profile. We're not even going to invoke CeeDee Lamb. You're not taking no damn Terry McLaurin over CeeDee Lamb. I don't give a damn if Terry McLaurin had 50 touchdowns and CD had 0 last year. You would not take Terry McLaurin over CeeDee Lamb. Okay? All right? Cody Smith saying above the Smitty range. He's appropriately placed. Daniel says he's fine. Like where he's at, he's fine. See, this is the beauty of it, right? Because a lot of the stuff that we chase in fantasy football, the opinions of these players are influenced by the NFL's decision to pay them, to target them, to utilize them. So I look at this thing on KTC, and what does this tell me? Well, A, he's old, so people in the fantasy football game are kind of like, man, I don't really want a 30-year-old wide receiver. I'm not going to build around a 30-year-old wide receiver. The age cliff, all of that stuff. So he's already knocked down. He has not had one of them type of seasons. And you know what I mean by one of them type of seasons. 1,500 yards, 1,600 yards, where you're like, oh, shit, this dude is on another level. He's been really good, but not great. I don't know if 30 million. I just don't. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't the new GM of the Commanders the same GM that came from San Francisco? Isn't it? Is it Adam Pierce? Is it Adam Pierce, the GM? Or is that Monday Night Raw? Where's Adam Pierce at? Is he the GM? I think Adam Pierce is the GM of WWE's Raw, but that also may be the damn GM of the Commanders' name. So neither here nor there. He came from San Francisco, where he was from, and we see how they kind of play the money game, right? We see how they play the money game. Terry's ADP is 60 overall in Sleeper Dynasty, way too high. Man, I just took him in like the 3rd and 4th round of a damn Dynasty startup, too. Knocked out because of age. Peters. Adam Peters. Oh, Adam Peters. Yes, Adam Peters, not Pierce. My bad. Adam Peters. Good Lord. Adam Peters. Yeah. Terry McLaurin discourse. It's. Let's see how all this plays out. Now, while I'm on Keep Trade Cut, let me scroll down. I gotta go to the next page, y'all. I'm outside the top 50 wide receivers. I gotta go to the next page. And I see a wide receiver outside of the top 70, y'all. Outside the top 70. Y'all ready to have a little fun on the show? It's been heavy. I feel like it's been heavy, talking through money and players not being there. Let's spice this shit up. All right? Let's spice it up. And I'm going to pull up. And people are going to love this. This is going to be a great topic. A wide receiver going into his third season that apparently this guy is looking like the absolute truth here early in training camp. And we've already invoked the name because they play next Thursday. Now, D-Bro is in the chat, and D-Bro has a love affair with wide receiver Trey Harris, who's really good out of Ole Miss, their 2nd-round pick. Probably the future in that wide receiver room alongside Ladd McConkey. But right now, the present that he must get through, who is lining up on the outside in that X position role, is Quentin Johnston, y'all. QJ has been the talk of camp. And before we get started with this, because I saw somebody say, oh no, Ray with QJ again. Not OGQ. He was outside of my top 5 wide receivers in 2023. Do not put that bad juju on me. He was outside of my top 5, right? But there were a lot of people, a lot of draft people who had him as a first-round pick, who talked about the talent, who talked about the skill set, who had him very high. Do not put this on me, all right? All I'm doing is reporting what the camp clips are showing. QJ's been dominating. I mean, he's downfield, he's across the middle, he's catching shit over his shoulder. Listen, I saw him catch one behind his back. I can't find the clip for the life of me. Ball was thrown. He just did that. He just ran. Oh, caught it. Just turned his back, caught the ball. I mean, he's got eyes in the back of his head now. He's playing very well. Right now, on KTC, wide receiver 71. 71. And as much as you may love that lad and love that Trey Harris, and the reports are that is the X. Trey Harris is learning the other wide receiver position, the other Z position, okay? The flanker role. Ladd McConkey is plugged right where he's going to be. He's white, he's in the slot, okay? That's where Ladd's going to play. QJ's playing on the X role. You got Trey Harris vying for that Z spot. Where we at? Listen, he was much better in 2024. He was awful as a rookie, much better in 2024, and with some confidence under his belt now. Is there a chance that Quentin Johnson surprises us here in 23? Scribble says he's out. Kevin is saying, QJ, 5 tutties and 5 practices. Zach is late. GMGP to you. You're late, Zach, but appreciate you being in the building. Cool. Will they sign Keenan? I don't think so. I mean, sign him to do what? Keenan's playing on the inside, and that's where Ladd is. I don't think so. Gatson is getting buzz. Yes, Patrick, Gatson is getting buzz. Look at the clip of Keandre Lambert-Smith. I don't want to talk about KLS. I want to keep him hidden so I can grab him off waivers for free. Trey is getting a lot of buzz, too. Trey Harris is getting a lot of buzz, too. But positionally, this is going to be your X-wide receiver. So good for QJ balling out. We got some more ballers. Can we go some more? Let's go Trey Harris, man. Let's give Trey Harris some love, okay? Trey Harris had a nasty route. Let's pull it up. Trey Harris had a nice little route right here. Nice little route combination. I like the second one a little better. DB was ass right there. I don't know who 31 is, but this one right here, this slant across the middle, this was a beautiful route. Good job, good patience. Boom. Get open. It's one-on-one. These drills are always skewed to the offensive player. I hate them, right? The wide receiver should win like 8 out of 10 times every time. And I don't know what the DB was doing right here. But Trey Harris also looks good. But Trey Harris is not going to play the X. It's going to be QJ. And this idea that like multiple players in an offense can't be successful is silly. Like it's not one or the other, okay? It's not going to be 100% Trey Harris or 100% Ladd McConkey or 100% Quentin Johnston. Like they're probably all going to have the other two ancillary pieces. Ladd's going to get his thing the most consistent amount. But between Harris and Quentin Johnson, that's one of the approaches to fantasy that I think I try to bring to the table, right? I love, by and large, first and foremost, football above everything. Like, you can't have fantasy football without the real game. There is no proxy for the game without the game itself. So I start there. And the real football analysis of this situation, as much as you may like the rookie, like they're rookies. They're rookies. It takes, and the reason why I say this, and I really want to be clear. I want to be crystal clear how I communicate this point. The reason why I say this is because I want you to have the right expectation level out the gate, because what happens? The same way that we overreact to training camp clips, the same way that we overreact to coach pressers, to news clippings, to beat reporters, to articles from players that weren't affiliated with the team in over 20 years. The same way we react to those things, we react even harsher and faster to the real action that takes place. And the real action doesn't start until week 1 and week 2. And I have been doing this long enough. And if you think I'm lying, right on this channel that you're watching this show right now, there's a video from 5 years ago with Jonathan Taylor on the thumbnail, and the title was Don't Sell Jonathan Taylor for a second-round pick just because he's not getting 1,000 carries in the first week of the season. Every year we do this, and if you think I'm lying, I believe it was the start of last season where people were panicked about Jahmyr Gibbs, scared of Bijan Robinson because he wasn't doing shit. Like, we do this every single season when our expectation level is here and the reality starts out down here. Like, and there's that little bit of gap, and that gap is probably time, experience, playbook understanding. But what we do is we just bail. Man, get me the hell out of here. I want out. This dude's a bust. Trey Harris hasn't. If Trey Harris goes the first 2 weeks and he's third in the pecking order in targets, fourth in the pecking order in targets, you know what I'm going to do? Not a damn thing. I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to trip. I'm not going to panic sell. I don't have the expectations that him or Kyle Williams or Luther Burden or any of them damn dudes are coming out the gate smashing from day one. If you get it, great. But rarely do you see that. We want to put the next Puka and the next this and the next that onto every player. What I say is, like, finding them is, you're not gonna, none of us are that good, right? Like, let's just be real. Like, I was on Puka Nacua early. I liked the prospect profile of him. I didn't think he was gonna set some NFL record. D-Bro liked Puka Nacua, right? He didn't know he was gonna set some damn NFL record until it started happening. And once it happens, because you like the player, because the talent was there, because you believe in the situation, then you buy in. But the expectation level for a second-round receiver on an offense behind a top 100 player, like, no, it's not Puka Nacua, it's not Jamar Chase. So therefore, if it doesn't happen early, like, I'm not going to react in an extreme, dramatic way that's going to be detrimental to the long-term success and viability of my team. It's having the right expectation level for all the rookies. I'm RJ Harvey Truther 101. You know who's going to get the ball a lot in Denver? Probably J.K. Dobbins. He probably is. He's probably going to run the ball too and be pretty good at times and score touchdowns and outscore RJ Harvey. But does that mean on certain weeks? But does that mean that I'm out? I'm out. If he's not getting the damn ball 30 times out the gate, I don't want no part of him. Nah, man. Expectation levels and managing those expectations are probably more important than anything that we can do when we're playing this proxy for a game called fantasy football. All right, I'm going to read the comments. We're going to go to break real quick. We're going to run the, what intermission? We're going to run the promo for Antonio Williams. We're going to run that again. I don't have another intro. So there's a bunch of people in here and y'all haven't watched the video. So we're going to run it again. Hit the like button. We'll come back. Xavier Worthy. Got to talk through some Xavier Worthy. Kind of want to talk through this Chargers thing with Najee Harris. Told y'all, it ain't so much as what they're saying as what I haven't heard. You know what I haven't heard since July 4th? Najee Harris. Haven't seen him, haven't heard. Only the Mexican version. That's the only one we've seen. We showed that video on the show. That's the only Najee I've seen since the 4th of July. Probably not good. Run it up. Hit the like button. We'll be right back after the break. Now, when you're evaluating the receiver position, the ability for a wideout to create separation, whether that's off the line of scrimmage, throughout the route, or at the catch point, it's paramount. You have to be able to give your quarterback a window and some room to deliver the ball. Clemson's returning all-ACC wide receiver Antonio Williams is one of the best separators in this projected upcoming 2026 NFL draft class. He's one of the quickest wide receivers in this cohort, and he's going to be playing on one of the better offenses with one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Antonio Williams is the real deal. There's a lot to like about his game, and most draft scouts right now at this stage of the process have him as the number one wide receiver in this class. Is Antonio Williams the top dog in 2026? How might his game translate to the next level? We got the data. We got some film. 2026 summer scouting continues with the wide receiver position. Clemson's Antonio Williams. Let's get it. Let's get it. Appreciate y'all being in the building. It's Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the channel. No Jay Rich this week. He's out. He's on vacation, so it's just solo GQ all week. I appreciate it each and every eye, each and every year. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast feed. Check out the content on DDFFB. Dynasty Theory just had their 300th episode. 300 episodes. Jay Rich and I are coming up. I think we're over 500 Wake Up episodes, too. Over 500. But check out Dynasty Theory, the Dynasty Deal Show. Scott Connor is back. Scott Connor is back on the Dynasty Deal Show. Members get access to that show. I think Friday nights they record. Hit the public airways yesterday evening. Jay Rich is out, so shit's coming out a little late with OGQ. but it's on the channel, DDFFB. If you want to go through Dynasty Trades, check out the Dynasty Deal Show over on DDFFB. And yes, of course, talk through Antonio Williams, 2026 wide receiver 1 candidate out of Clemson. And I had a little small, not big, not gonna make a big hoopla over this, but I think a lot of people will enjoy this. I was talking to one of my good friends, Micah Parsons, who does scouting work over at Bleacher Report, and me and DP and a couple of other NFL draft analysts are going to do a summer scouting super stream going through all things 2026. So we're going to stream for multiple hours, talking through the quarterbacks, which ones we like, running backs, receivers, O-line, D-line, defensive backs, linebackers, all ahead of the upcoming 2025 college football season. So the details for that will be out soon. It's going to go down in August. So make sure you pull up. Once we get that up, it's going to be a fun time going through all the 2026 potential guys that could be in this upcoming draft right before the college football season and before we get into the heat of the NFL program. What we got now, baby? What do we have? Looking at the chat, let me get the people like the ticker. Let me get the ticker back up. Yeah, and on the ticker, it was down here, and I didn't say it at the beginning of the show, but I do want to acknowledge the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, man. Ozzy Osbourne passed away. You know, that's not my genre of music, but I absolutely know who Ozzy is. I remember the show back when I was younger that came out on MTV, the Osbournes, Meet the Osbournes, I believe, with the kids and Ozzy, and it just seemed like such a good guy. Black Sabbath, big time band, metal band, rock band. Again, not my genre, but I saw a lot of people that I like and I follow and support, putting the condolences out there about Ozzy Osbourne. And then Theo from the Cosby Show, man, that was another, just a sad situation. 54 years old, incident in Costa Rica, accidental drowning. So just prayers up for those family members and fans and friends and whomever may have been impacted or felt some type of way about both of those passings. Very tough. But appreciate y'all in the building. And let's talk about a player that OGQ loves. I'm very much in. And no, I'm not going to victory lap suspensions. I don't do that. We all knew Rashee Rice was going to go down at some point, right? And we still don't know for how long. But Deshaun Jackson 2.0 was out there making plays in Chiefs camp. Here goes Mahomes to old Xavier Worthy down the field. How we feeling about Xavier Worthy this season? I want to know. There was a lot of hate on old X Worthy last season. Remember that play where he was pushed down training camp, too light in the ass, right? A little too small, not going to be able to get it done. And here he is just screaming down the field, doing incredible things for the Chiefs. Really excited about Xavier Worthy this season. Where y'all at, chat? Where y'all at with Xavier Worthy here in 2025? I do want to do some Would You Rather with X because people are coming around. We're going to go to Underdog. Let's go redraft price for Xavier Worthy, whose ADP is starting to steam up now. So let's see if it's still in a comfortable spot that you all are okay with, or if is it already jumped up to a price where you don't want to pay. So Xavier Worthy right now coming off the board, still really good price. Wide receiver 21, ADP of 40.9. Wide receiver 21 still coming off the board after Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice on Underdog is wide receiver 19. I don't think this is going to stick much longer. Let me pull it up right here. I don't think it's going to stick for that much longer. So you've got Rice, Evans, and Worthy. And I saw my man Debro talking about Mike Evans the other day because of the Chris Godwin news. So I guess we'll just flow into all of that now. We'll talk Godwin. We'll talk Worthy. Worthy or Evans? Worthy or Mike Evans? 2025, Worthy or Evans? Where y'all at? Would y'all rather Xavier Worthy for this upcoming season or Mike Evans? I know where I land immediately, where my brain went. Immediately. And maybe I'm just a little bit of bias, but Worthy or Evans at cost? Worthy or Evans at cost? Where we at? Luke said, what are you paying for Rice right now? Joe Mixon, non-football injury list, not good. James said, Joe Mixon, non-football injury list. What does that even mean? Wallbang says Evans. Wallbang says Evans over X. Walt says, oh, please, Evans. Walt is making it seem like this is a no-brainer. And then Jay Rich said, I'm pretty easily taking Worthy. Evans, we've got X. Evans, Anahola says Worthy. Man, this is a split. It'll come down to I'm gonna have to split the tie here. Okay, we got some more Worthy rolling in. I'll take Worthy, send in player. Jimbo says Evans. Jamal says Worthy. KS Scientist or Rapper. We're gonna end that would you rather with I think it's Worthy. I think Worthy gets it. Mike, I'm good for 1,000 guaranteed. Evans all day. But that's the thing, Daniel. That's the thing. Like 1,000 in fantasy really ain't shit, dude. You know, like it's really not. You're looking for. I guess this is a different topic for a different day. Like the spike weeks and how much better that is than just like the consistent flatness. If you just got and I'm just using a number like 10 points a game out of a player versus maybe you only got 8 points a game, but in the games in which they scored, they smashed. Like it was just, they went nuclear 3 weeks that help you win the weeks. Like what's better for the team long term? I don't really know. Just kind of thinking through that. I think both will disappoint. Okay. But I'll take Worthy because I was just going there, MDS. I didn't know how to, man, that's why I love you, man. That's why I love to chat. This is what I was trying to hit on, and I don't think I was articulating it very well. I don't think both will disappoint, but Worthy feels like his spikes should be higher, but then Mike Evans is also walking. I mean, would you be week 1, he gets 2 damn touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. I think that's absolutely within his range of outcome as well. I think Mike Evans has some big spike weeks as well, especially off of touchdowns. But yeah, 1,000 just doesn't it doesn't move the needle. Fantasy wise, it just doesn't move. It doesn't move the needle. You got to be scoring touchdowns, getting those spikes. Ray has to teach us how to play every week. Is hey, listen. I'm not doing any of that, Stanley. What else do we need to talk about? Let's talk about the Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's a good one. Let's pull up the report, and I think I tweeted it out. So let's just go to my timeline because it's on here somewhere. Here it is. So this was from, is it Jenna Lane, ESPN, at Jenna Lane, ESPN. Multiple sources tell ESPN that Chris Godwin underwent a second procedure on his ankle this spring, shedding further light on his rehab from a dislocated ankle last season. So the Bucs, they've got Tristan Wirfs, which we already knew he was going to start off on PUP with whatever happened a few weeks ago. That kind of popped up, which was unfortunate. Left tackle for Baker Mayfield. And now Chris Godwin on the PUP. So you read the comments and you see, yikes, it's getting worse and worse. This is terribly misleading. A second procedure on an ankle would be awful. But in the article, it says knee. Which is it? Better be his knee because I hope the ankle is healing properly. So it's knee, it's ankle, it's cleanups. It's an older receiver coming off of a devastating injury that took him out for the season. And more importantly, like, here's my thought process. What did the team do? Godwin was awesome to start the season. I mean, he was about to finish as a top 5 receiver for fantasy football. Mike Evans hit his 1,000 again. They hit a home run with 4th-round pick Jalen McMillan, and they turned right back around in the draft. And they took a very talented wide receiver out of the Ohio State, Micah Parsons, in round 1. Godwin, I don't know why we are so excited. Even the Diggs thing. Diggs apparently is good. He did not start camp off on PUP. Diggs is out there playing. And I don't know when Diggs suffered his ACL in relation to Godwin breaking his ankle. I feel like Diggs did that before Godwin snapped his ankle, but it might have been around the same time. I'm just very weary of these players coming back from season-ending injuries, especially wide receivers, the year after the injury. I put on this tweet, Jalen McMillan's redraft price has been and still is criminally low. This idea that they're going to take him off the field is just it's not going to happen. I'm 10 toes down on that. That doesn't mean Emeka Egbuka is not going to play and play well. It doesn't mean that Chris Godwin's not going to do his thing when he's back on the field and 100% healthy. It doesn't mean Mike Evans can't be good. It seems like the player that's been phased out of this offense was the most consistent receiver they had down the stretch of their playoff run season. And you think they're going to pull him off of the field? Like, it's not going to happen. I'm not saying Jalen McMillan is going to have 150 targets. I'm not saying Jalen McMillan is the second coming of Amon-Ra St. Brown. But what I am saying is this idea and this notion that he's not going to play because they drafted Emeka Egbuka and he's going to be on the field in 3 wide receiver sets and McMillan, it's not going to go down like that. I'm just telling you right now, it ain't going to go down like that. I bet you any amount of money, we see number 15 out there running around on the field doing exactly what he did last year, catching passes, making plays for Tampa Bay and helping his team win. His price is too low. His price is too low. He's an afterthought. He's a throw-in in dynasty. He's an afterthought in redraft. Just like Quentin Johnston is a little bit of an afterthought because we want other players to be better. We don't want the thing that we've already seen before. We want something new, right? That damn Suns have 2 nice Nintendo Switches in there. The OLED ones look good, play good. They want the 2. I don't want that one anymore. I need the new one. The new one is no damn games for it. I need the new one, right? Feel like that's what we do every single season. And you get in the year and you're like, oh man, didn't think that Kelsey would get all those targets. I really thought it was going to shift. The offense was going to shift from Mark Andrews to Likely, and it still hasn't happened. It's not, these things don't have to be in spite of somebody else. Production does not have to replace, it's players and situations can live synonymously, right? Because the NFL team ain't trying to hyper target one for fantasy football. They're trying to win, spread the ball around. There's a very good chance that McMillan is out there, if not more than Emeka Egbuka as a rookie. Just look at the early lines, the projected lines and the totals for some of the yards for these players. I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but you start looking at, the season total long for Egbuka is like 500 yards. And like, man, probably an appropriate line for a damn rookie receiver stepping into a situation with 2, 3, 4 veteran wide receivers. Let's see what we got. In the chats, they were 5 spots apart most of the offseason. I don't know who he was talking about right there. Do we know why Joe Mixon is on the non-football injury list? No, I don't. I probably need to go look that up real quick, Jay Rich. That's actually really good. Let's go Joe Mixon, M-I-X-O. John Moxon. Texans place RB Joe Mixon on the non-football injury list. Hey, you see the first comment. Did somebody say Woody Marks? I try to tell folks, right? He's probably going to play. There was a reason why the Houston Texans traded a 26th third to move up, and they had their pick of the litter. Could have taken Dylan Sampson, could have taken a bunch of backs. They chose Woody Marks out of USC. Pass catching back. I would be, and I have been, prioritizing Woody Marks. I have no clue. This is all we got, Jay Rich. This is all we got. Let's go to Schefter's page to see if there's anything more. Yep, nothing there. We've got repost 15 minutes ago. Russell Wilson is the clear-cut starter for the Giants. These guys will be out here competing, but Russ is our starter. That is from Brian Daboll, head coach of the Giants. So Russell Wilson, clear-cut starter for the Giants. If you're playing the dirty old quarterback game in Superflex, he's one that you can get very late. He's always on the board after 32, 33, 34, 35 quarterbacks off the board. You can always grab you a Russell Wilson. Over under 8.5 starts for him. I don't know. I don't know. Andrew Thomas not being healthy is not good for the Giants. Says Giants place O-tackle Andrew Thomas on the PUP due to his foot injury, and GM Joe Shane said that Thomas should be ready for the opener. Again, these ambiguous should be ready. We think they might be ready. We hope that they're ready. We're optimistic that they're ready. I don't want to hear none of that, man. I just need you to be in camp and in practice. And there was another one that I wanted to pull up here that was it looked like it was just kind of buried in here. Let me pull it up. Honey Badger retired. Before we get out of here, Honey Badger retired. Tyrann Mathieu retired. Top 5 college football player I've ever watched. Me personally. Like in my era of living in it, top 5 college football player I ever watched. When I just close my eyes and think of the best college football players I've ever watched play ball, top 5, Tyrann Mathieu. What he was able to do at LSU in the SEC during the era in which he played and the competition he had to play against, and how I still remember that opener versus Oregon. That was a big game, and he was just strip sack, punt returns, he was just dynamic that entire game. One of the best college football players I've ever seen play. Right up there with Ndamukong Suh that season he had in 2009. Should have won the Heisman that year. Tyrann Mathieu retires from the NFL after 12 incredible seasons. Probably would have been a first-round pick had he not gotten in trouble during the draft process. Fell to the third steal for the Arizona Cardinals. All-pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ. Probably not a Hall of Famer. But man, he was incredible during his time in the game. But the one that I wanted to bring up, this one right here. It's just kind of in the middle of all this news. Adam Schefter tweeted out, San Francisco GM John Lynch told reporters today that 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk is currently not, in quotes, for those of y'all not watching, in quotes, not anywhere close to having a concrete timeline to return from the knee injury he suffered last season. Y'all were asking me on Monday, is he a buy low? And I was like, buy low from what? Buy low for what? Like, what are you buying low to do? Play him, trade him, have him just sit on your roster. I don't like the sound of it. I'm trying not to read too deep, but John Lynch said, not anywhere close to having a concrete timeline. What does that mean? Does that mean that the injury's taking a little bit longer and they just don't want to tell us? Neither here nor there. I'm just fading him. I want zero Brandon Ayuk this year. If I lose a fantasy football title because of Brandon Ayuk going off in week 17, so be it. Like, I'll just eat the egg. I'll eat crow. I'm good. I'm just good on. I'm good on those situations. Year one receivers, ace. I'm just good. I'm good on the Brandon Ayuk stuff, man. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm fine when I hear shit like this. I'm fine. And again, I haven't really seen a lot about it. It was snuck in the middle of this thing, in the middle of the day. But that was what Adam Schefter reported. Where's the music at? I got a doctor's appointment to go to. Where's the music at? Let me get the music up. Jay Richard like this. Don't listen to Adam bogus Schefter sources. Okay, people saying don't listen to Schefter. No, I'm just the messenger here. Kittle and CMC about to be wide receiver 1 and 2. Yeah, Juwan Jennings, go pay him. People don't respect ramping up at all. Should have sold weeks ago. Jacob Cowing time. Yeah, here we go. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up with your boy. Again, I'm kind of, yeah, Saints had 3 retirements yesterday. Saints had 3 retirements yesterday. Hunter Badger is awesome. Awesome player. Appreciate everybody pulling up, man. Vibing with me. Solo, an hour, all week long. Probably going to continue into the season. Not wake up, Jay Richard is back, but I'm going to start doing more solo streams, just talking ball, talking topics, NFL, college, all of that. So make sure you hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, like the content, support this channel. Check out the Antonio Williams profile and wake y'all asses up on Friday. Much love. Make it great. And I'll see y'all then, man. I'm out. Peace.